Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Bible Illustrated Hands. I'm finally back from Sweden. That is, I was back on December the 6th. So thank you all for your prayers for safe trip, because I panic quite a lot when I'm in the plane. It is essentially a small death for me. So I got this question on Instagram, and I thought that I would answer it here because it might be of interest for everyone else, to hear the answer. And the question was, I drew an image of Saint George, the great martyr. And the question is, what are all the different kinds of martyrs in the Orthodox Church? So here is the list of all the types of martyrs. And that drawing is ruined. So, first of all, we have proto-martyrs. This essentially translates the first martyr, and it generally refers to Saint Stephen, who was martyred. He was a deacon of the early church, and he was stoned to death because he was brought before Sanhedrin. And because of his refusal to recant Christ, and because he told the Pharisees that he saw Christ seated at the right hand of the Father, he was put to death. The title of the proto-martyr, or so to say, proto-martyress, is also applied to Saint Thecla, who was also one of the early women leaders of the church, and she was also clearly put to death. The title of the proto-martyr can also be applied for the first martyr of a certain region. That's that. Then we have just martyrs, which are all the martyrs who do not fall into any of the following or the preceding categories, So first we have great martyrs. These are martyrs who have undergone excruciating torments. These aren't people who have just been, killed for their faith, but who have been tormented relentlessly, many days, weeks, months even, and they did not reject Christ. Then we have, by the way, most of these titles can stack in a way. I hate to use that word, but so you can have a great priest martyr or venerable priest martyr and so on. Speaking of those two, priest martyr or hero martyr is a person who suffers martyrdom while they're part of the clergy. So the martyr in question does not have to be priest per se. He can be a bishop. I wanted to say he or she, but if they're priest martyrs, they have to be he. Then we have venerable martyrs. These are men and women who have suffered martyrdom while still being part of the monastic order. So we have those. Then we have just have to focus on this a little bit. Next in line, we have ethnomartyrs. Ethnomartyrs are people who aren't killed for their religion, just because of their religion, but primarily because they belong to a different, nation. So, for example, Patriarch Gregory V, who was he was the ecumenical patriarch of Constantinople. He's considered an ethnomartyr. Then we have passion bearers. Passion bearers are again people who are not killed primarily because of their religion, but for example, political reasons, but who accepted their death in a Christian manner, And the primary example of this is the royal Romanov family, They're the primary ones. And of course, last but not least are the confessors, people who have been tortured for Christ without renouncing him. Now, having said all of that, bear in mind that these titles aren't exactly applied consistently. There isn't a board of martyr title designation. So, for example, a majority of great martyrs are actually early martyrs, like absolute majority. However, the title, at least in Serbia, is applied to some people who aren't great martyrs as I have described them. For example, Prince Lazar of Kosovo, he is commonly referred as the great martyr in Serbia, even though he died in battle fighting against the Ottoman Turks. However, he's still fondly remembered by us Serbs as a great martyr because of spiritual devastation that followed after the Battle of Kosovo in the 14th century. Also, we have a king, great martyr Stefan of Dečani. He's very much venerated in Serbia, and he's called great martyr even though he was killed by his own son, who was also an Orthodox Christian, and he wasn't tormented. He was simply strangled. Still a horrible way to die, but not exactly as having your skin scratched with iron rakes or burned by candles or whatever horrible evil things men inspired by demons can create. I think that's it. Thank you for your question, and I hope to see you guys in the next episode. Bye. Sorry if the drawing was slow, but majority of this was, as far as visuals go, was me trying to locate the pens and erasers that got lost during the travel to Sweden. Bye.